I used to be able to find the queen pretty easy. Nowadays I could never find her. Don't even know if she's in these parts anymore. It's just too many ants. And they're all too big to really stand out from the queen. Oops. This one needs to come over. It's been a while since I showed the girls off in this manner. I've got a dead one over there. Deaths are pretty rare generally. Got a good long lifespan. Adults typically lasting for a couple of years. They've dug up under that log as well. Whoops. Dug up in the back there. Dug in there. They're right through the whole thing, living underneath in the dirt now. They're all old cocoon sacs. Got someone not too happy coming up to meet me. It's amazing, I've never been stung really. I'm going to see what it's like trying to clean the inside of the glass. It's not easy, which is why it's not perfect. They're actually very agitated right now. All this moving around and exposing them to light and banging and gets them going, gets them worked up. Estimates are somewhere between 500 and 1,000 in population. That's purely going by, more so by empty cocoon sacs as anything else. It's impossible to count them. There's some information there about the species. The queen was about 30, maybe 29 or to 31 in that range. Pretty hard to measure them properly. They started off with just this section here and that section there. Once it looked like they were starting to outgrow this, I plugged their nest up and added this section and joined it up by drilling into the side and then quickly dropping it in. So that joined it up, and then they were happy with just that for quite some time, living between all of this. And then it became obvious that they were running out of space, so I put in the fake rock. And they actually chipped away at the hebel enough to make at the corner here, enough to make an entrance, which I thought was pretty cool. And then not too long after that, they started to burrow under that log. That's when I knew. That's when I knew that I'd lost visual confirmation of the whole colony size. And when I really knew was when they started pulling up. This white stuff here is actually a layer of styrofoam that's about that high at the bottom, the first inch of everything underneath, apart from these original blocks of Hebels, was styrofoam, and that was simply just to keep the weight down. So when I added dirt, I could, cut out a couple of kilos worth of dirt, and they hit that styrofoam months ago, which means they've buried tunnels into that as well. But seeing that little entrance over there, and that one at the back there, see, these don't connect. They don't connect to the Hebel nest. The only part that they connect to is this part under the log down here. But that just, confirms that they're living right throughout the entire thing. So the queen was actually caught in autumn of 2020. So it's officially a 3-year-old colony, and this is how big it's gotten in 3 years. Bear in mind, it took 6 months just to get to like 20 something workers, but it just snowballs from there. Each worker can take eight weeks, because the larger ants, they live longer, but they also take longer to develop. And like I said, deaths are pretty rare. Some of these ants are a couple of years old. I mean, majority of them will live that long, but just going on population, they can't all be that old. You can see here we've got an injured worker. They sometimes fight each other, or when one's getting sick or old, the others will actually just kill it at that point. And if you really look carefully at that worker, you can see that her abdomen is... It's hard to find her now. She's actually lost the tip of her abdomen and it's hollowed out. Where'd she go? So a worker must have chopped her abdomen in half. Because it seems like the main way they die is when other workers decide it's time for them to die. They often fight amongst themselves over things. Can't see me right now, but when they can, they respond to everything they see that moves. They're almost like a giant pack of wolves in their behaviour. Well, they've cleaned a lot of dirt out from here. There was almost a bit of a slope of dirt there. And it took them a day to move that. And I can see they've dumped some of that new dirt into here. And that's actually where their honey goes. And they'll fill it up, constantly fill up their honey with dirt. And what you're seeing there is an accumulation of that over time. But this is to stop honey from ending up in the actual soil. Here's their honey. This is my trusty tweezers. Can never be too small. These are a foot long, 30 centimeters long. if we can grab a water. So you can see what, so 2.5, about 2.4 centimeters is an inch. You can actually, if you're not familiar with these ants from another part of the world, then you've got an idea of how big these girls actually are. They pack one hell of a sting. They've I'm not sure how much you'd trust the Guinness Book of Records, but they're in the Guinness Book of Records as the deadliest ant. You can see that they're fighting over this dead worker right now, so one says it's going this way, the other says no, it's going that way, and they'll just tug a war with it. They could be there doing that for hours.